Okay, so first one I want to do today, I still want to do Mick Mulvaney, but I know nothing about him. I was going to try to look up some things, but I just keep getting distracted. He's just really not at the top of the list, but there was a trending topic on Twitter. Apparently, Louis C.K., the comedian, did a set that somebody recorded. This is why if you're going to do comedy shows, you got to take people's phones. You can't tell them you can't bring it in. But he did a comedy show, and in that show, he made some jokes the way they do. You know, I don't really think comedians are even trying to be clever anymore. I think they're just trying to be shocking and get attention, or maybe just trying to be offensive for the sake of outrage. I don't know. But the first joke he did was, he did them in a series, so they were all together. He was talking about people who are gender neutral, who don't want to be classified as male or female. They want to be called they. And so he made a joke about that, saying that I don't want to be classified as a person, I'm called there or something. Then he said something else off color, which I won't repeat. But so he mocked people who were gender neutral. And then he went on to mock the what is it, Parkland School? Anyway, the children who survived the school shooting. And he said, why should I listen to you? Or what did he say? What did he say? Something about, why should I listen to you because you're not brave. You pushed some fat kid in front of you and he got shot, or something to that effect. So it was offensive to everybody. I don't really care either way because, I mean, he just wasn't on my radar for comedians that I listen to. So I didn't really retain what he said, that it was so offensive, but people were going on and on and on. Now, mind you, he's also one of the people who got caught up in the Me Too movement because he was in a room masturbating in front of some woman, and she was not a part of that. She did not give consent for him to do such a thing, and so there he started to do it anyway. He didn't deny it. He admitted it. He went away for a little while, and now he came back and made offensive jokes and mocked survivors of school shooting. So, oddly enough, I want to know, is that going to affect his career? Now, why I say oddly enough is because if he was caught up in the Me Too movement, he should be done, period. But, you know, second chances, I suppose, or whatever. But then again, like a Bill Cosby, you have a built-in audience that will never, ever go away. Ever. No matter what. It will stay that way for your entire career. And so I think he's just one of those people. Mind you, they didn't ask him to jump off the bridge 7 years ago when he said nigger 1,000 times, but, you know, now it's a bigger deal. Because these kids survived the school shooting, and then you decided to poke fun at them in your act, and then you poke fun at people who feel as though they're gender neutral, and so you went that route. And what was even crazy about it, even more crazy, is it wasn't even funny. I mean, if you're going to be shocking, at least be funny. Now, I like all kinds of comedians. Like, for instance, the person he was sitting in a room with one time when he was saying the N-word over and over again, Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld is one of those people who was able to be funny without being offensive. Sinbad, able to be funny without being offensive. Even somebody who is sort of a little, I don't want to say grungy because that sounds dirty, but, well, yeah, he can be dirty. Cat Williams is one of those people. You don't hear him say fag in all this in all his shows. And yet he still manages to have that kind of rough comedy thing going and it's still funny without being overly offensive. So you don't have to be offensive to be funny. If you feel as though you have to be offensive to be funny, then I don't think you're truly funny. And oh, look, there's your first card. Seven of Swords is a card of underhandedness. Strategy, win at all cost. You are throwing the ball at the wall right now. So you feel as though if people are going to hate me, then let's make them really hate me. Because they already don't like you because of the Me Too. So why not poke fun at gender neutral? Why not poke fun at school shooting survivors? Why not poke fun at that kind of stuff? Because if you hate me already, what the hell do I have to lose? Win at all cost. That is what you were doing. The moon is showing that. You are trying to just throw it all out there. Why not? That's how you feel. I'll tell you why not. Because you are a person that people, I guess, still love. And if you would have somehow said, okay, I was a disgusting person. I was, some self-deprecation, I think would have got you right back in the limelight where you should have been or wanted to be. I think should have been. I don't even know who you are, but where you wanted to be. But now you're in a position to where people don't like you. Now people hate you. Chickens are coming home to roost, though. Will this affect your career? Yes, it will. This is your base. All the things that you're about to pay for, or all the things that you sold in the past, you are about to pay for. Knight of Pentacles. It's happening. It is going to affect your money. It is going to affect your gigs. They are going to slow up. More clubs. There are still some clubs, though, that are for you. Because if you listen to the audio of his little comedy set where he said all the offensive things, there were people in there who were just cackling away. People don't mind offensive language when it doesn't offend them. So when it strikes at that word that bothers you, then you have a problem with it. But you should have a problem with it, period. Because what did they say? A threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Or injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. This is what you want. This is your crowning thought. You do, believe it or not, it's funny that the moon and the star pop up in your thing. This is mystery and revelation. Illusion. This is hope. But this is what you want. This is your crowning thought. It's interesting how, I guess because this is your livelihood, so yeah, it would make sense that you want things to go back to the way they were when you were the Louis C.K. Now you're just some nasty old man making fun of school shooting survivors. But this is your immediate future. Your base does not look good. So let's see if it gets better. There is money. This can turn around for you, but we'll see in your environment whether it's money you win or money you lose. But there is a new idea for money that you do have that you are trying to enact. But we'll see in your environment. This is your fear. You do fear being shunned. You do fear losing everything. You do fear being alone. You do fear being lost. In your environment is the shadow. Your money is going to suffer. And the Knight of Pentacles is in your past. This is lump sum. Like, for instance, if you did a gig, you got a big check. It's going down. So like I said, it is going to affect. There are still some clubs that are for you. So you will never be completely jobless. But it is going to affect you big time because it's going to hang over you. You're not going to be able to shake this off. And here's the thing that is even more crazy. You kind of re-pissed off people that wrote you off a long time ago with your Me Too crisis. There were some people who weren't thinking anything about you, and then all of a sudden, here you go again. So this one's going to hang over you. That one's going to stick. That's your desire. You want to work again. You're working now. I guess you want to be back on the big stage, but your money's going down. The Knight of Wands. Now, the Knight of Wands is a card of, there's some opportunity for you. There's some opportunity to travel, to create, to do something new, a new business venture is what this also means. It is not going to be big money like it used to be in your past, but it is something. So this is a new job. This is travel, creativity, all of that good stuff that a comedian needs. So like I said, you're never going to really be destitute, but you're not going to be where you were. Now, there are a lot of people saying that he should not have to be crucified for his joke. If you didn't get it, then don't laugh. If you got it, then ha ha. But here's something that I want to propose to you as well. I was watching Bill Maher. You know, he has his the New Rules segment. And on one of his New Rules segment, he mentioned how we tolerate things in this day and age that 50 years from now, people are going to look back and say, what in the world were y'all doing? Like we do now. We look back on I like a lot of old sitcoms, like take for instance, All in the Family. Archie Bunker calling black people colored is not something that would fly on today's TV. There's another show I like, for instance, George Jefferson calling Archie Bunker a honky. That would never fly nowadays. There's a show I like, it's a British sitcom called Are You Being Served? Where they were having a photo shoot and they told the man, or the secretary, it was a woman, to sit on the man's lap and show a bit of leg. That would never fly on TV nowadays. And they would blatantly sexually assault the women, walking by, pinching them on the bottom and that kind of thing. And people got a laugh out of that. That's not funny nowadays. You could never do that. So we are tolerating things now that 50 years from now, people are going to look back and say, why in your song did you need to refer to women as bitches and hoes? Why do you say the word fag when there are so many other words you could be using? Why are you constantly calling each other the N-word when you could be calling each other something else? There's going to be a look back on this generation like when the past generation put cocaine in the Coca-Cola. They're going to say, what in the world were y'all doing? So do you have to be offensive to be funny is what I'm saying. Now, if you want to be, do it. I don't care. I just won't listen to you. That's the kind of person I am. But there is some disappointing news for you. You're going to have to sit some of this out. Like I said, it is going to affect your money big time. There's your separation. There's your hard time, your heartache, your all of that, because all of you is put into your craft. And you can only poke the bear so many times. You think you're being funny by being offensive. Now, mind you, in these little nightclubs, that's where they go to work out their material. That's not going to be their final show. So if he would have said those things and nobody would have laughed, he would have more than likely taken that out of the show. But nowadays, if you are on a stage, if you got a microphone in front of you, and there are people in the audience, every single one of those people is at the very least 100 eyes. because they have a cell phone that is connected to everybody else in the world. So you're not going to say something to just the people in that room. Because the people in that room, if they record you, it has now gone all over the world. And people are going to feel some kind of way about it. Cling on to the money you have, for your gigs are drying up. Your stability is in question. And I always thought it would be simply from your Me Too, but now with your offensive jokes, it may be time for comedy to take a step back and say, do I need to be offensive to be funny? We'll see.